The federal government says at least 2 Chinese communist loyalists have infiltrated an American university and could be using a dangerous fungus to wipe out billions of dollars from our agriculture industry. 33-year-old Yang Qingjian has been arrested and charged with conspiracy, accused of masterminding a plan to bring a highly dangerous fungi into University of Michigan laboratories to breed and conduct experiments. The fungi is called Fusarium graminearum, and scientists classify it as an agro-terrorism weapon. It's often the culprit behind a disease called head blight, which directly impacts a number of key American crops like barley, wheat, corn, and rice. When it attacks farms, it has the potential to significantly kill the output and poison the foods for human consumption or even to feed livestock. If it does make it into the human or animal body, it can cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects. The FBI Director Kash Patel says this is just another example of the lengths that the Chinese Communist Party will go through to infiltrate American institutions and put American lives at risk.
You may have seen the headlines recently about 2 Chinese researchers who were charged by the FBI for trying to smuggle in strains of a fungus called Fusarium graminearum into the country. The FBI director called Fusarium graminearum, quote, a potential agro-terrorism weapon because of the damage it can cause to crops through the disease it causes. But it turns out, according to Harold Kistler, he's a former USDA researcher now at the University of Minnesota who actually co-authored research into this fungus with these 2 Chinese researchers, that Fusarium graminearum is extremely prevalent in the United States and likely originated right here in North America. Farmers already have ways of managing Fusarium graminearum through fungicides, and grain distributors already test grain that they purchase from farms for the possibility of toxins caused by this fungus. But that doesn't mean there isn't a demand for cheaper ways of managing this fungus. That's part of why there's been so much focus into research like the kind that Kistler did with these 2 Chinese researchers into unlocking the molecular clues that could develop new fungicides or new ways of stopping this disease.
Michael, good morning. We're talking about a fungus which DOJ is calling a potential bioterror threat. Take a look at it under the microscope. This is Fusarium graminearum, and it causes billions of dollars in crop damage each year. A pathogen that rots wheat, barley, and rice, and if consumed by humans can cause vomiting, liver damage, and birth defects. This morning, 2 researchers from China are accused of trying to smuggle it into the U.S. to take it to a lab at the University of Michigan. Authorities claim that in July of last year, they allegedly caught a scientist from China with the fungus hidden in a wad of tissues in his backpack at the Detroit airport. Authorities say the scientist initially lied, claiming he was coming to America to visit his girlfriend and that he had no idea how the material got into his luggage. But later he allegedly admitted he smuggled the fungus into the U.S. to conduct research on it with his girlfriend, who was a visiting fellow at the University of Michigan, Michael.
Well, Pierre, had the University of Michigan responded to any of this?
Well, they're telling us that they're cooperating with the investigation, and they condemned any activity that could harm the public or damage national security, Michael.